What's going on, y'all? 75Junction. We have a very special guest here today. We have Crossjoint / Trash Clique. So Crossjoint is the collective of you three, and then Trash Clique is you four as a collective, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is one other member in Crossjoint. Just lives in Colorado. Still in the group, but like all of us.
Shout
Okay.
out.
It's Trash Clack.
Shout out Chody to one.
Trash Clack.
So when y'all perform, is it like he just FaceTimes in during the performance? It's like,
Yo, we thought about doing that where we'd have an iPad on stage and it was just him with like a mic. It wouldn't be attached to nothing.
right.
But we thought about doing that where we would phone him in for his verses.
Okay, sweet. So
But yeah, he's not here. Chody the One God.
Okay, word. So we'll just have you guys introduce yourselves one by one. So from my right to my left, and y'all's left to y'all's right.
All right, cool. Kevin Key, aka Knife Main.
Okay.
Rheese, aka Kaiju or King Kaiju.
Okay.
Poncho Julius, aka Young Bust Easy, aka Young Bus Driver, aka Diet Cigarette Supreme,
Okay.
and I'm
Diet
Crossjoint.
cigarette.
Diet Cigarette Supreme.
Is that great value? Like what is it?
No, it's like a jewel.
Okay.
Jewel reviews. Poncho Jewel reviews.
Sandman, aka Shred It.
Okay. Okay, word, shredded. Okay, so you skate or
I do a little bit of skating, but it mainly
Okay.
refers to Guitar Hero.
gotcha. Oh shit.
It's like it's spelled like Reddit with an SH at the beginning.
Okay, I got you. So
Jesus Christ.
so let's talk about y'all's music as a collective and I guess what each of you brings to Trash Clique as a whole. So what are some of y'all's personal strengths and contributions to the group that distinguishes you from your peers in this group that you guys have?
Good question.
Thank you.
Good question.
You don't look at me.
You go
Okay.
first?
I guess for me and John, it's more so of we're trying to bring more melodies,
Melodic, yeah.
like just be melodic with everything that we're doing, but at the same time, we also have rap, but we're trying to branch off and do our own thing and just kind of me and him specifically collectively hone in on the harmonics. You feel me?
Okay.
I just I like to challenge myself with the flows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like real like choppy, different speeds. I don't know. It's like I like doing weird stuff. Like I'm a drummer, so I guess that has something to do with it.
Back of the day shit.
Yeah, your rhythms are crazy.
Yeah, I've always focused on flow too, like just, and it gets to a problem for me. It's like I'll start to think less about the words and more about how the words hit.
Right.
So, and like, you know, Kevin said that it's like really focused on melodies, flow, and, you know, I guess vibe. That's a popular word to throw around.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I don't know, for me personally, like I write about a lot of sad shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like, it's like such a good way to reflect. Just like get shit out, and so that's how the music feels more authentic to at least me, because I just want to make shit I want to hear.
Okay.
And so that's all I care about is making music.
So it's more personal to you because it's more emotionally driven and it's coming from a place that you're familiar with. And
yeah,
that
exactly.
a lot of people may be familiar with and can relate to. So that's what I think is what's good and important about music is that people can relate to it. They get something from it. You know, like for me, I have different moods. So I'll listen to different things. I'm trying to get hype. I listen to, you know, trap music or whatever. I'm trying to be mellow and chill. I'll listen to some like lo-fi. I listen to like maybe some like 17 from X or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'll switch it up. But okay,
versatility is definitely the key.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm more or less just like it's more singular. Like it's very monotone. It's a basic flow. It's more chill if anything. But all around, I'm more or less the comedic relief in the whole collective.
He's the Jasper.
Yeah.
That's bad, but it's
We all
your
have our
words hit
progression.
different, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, I don't know. Like we all
Yo,
we all
flows hit
progress.
different.
And he is relatively new. Recently, what was it last year? He wrote his first verse, and then that turned into a whole entire mixtape. It was just on the spot. He was like, "Yeah, I got a verse." That turned into an entire mixtape.
And
Some
like
of them was
one
freestyled.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it's like what was it, like 2 tracks that were freestyle.
3 of them.
3. It was like a
And
total of
they're-
like 10 minutes. I just freestyled the entire Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
So that work ethic is
like
crazy.
game basically.
He freestyled the walkthrough of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, guarantee we'll never get that answer again.
Oh my
So
god.
definitely comedic relief.
Okay, awesome, man. So you guys have, I mean, and just in talking to you guys and meeting with you guys, you know, just prior to it, I mean, immediately, you know, I could see how comfortable you guys were with each other and how familiar you guys are. You guys obviously had a lot of camaraderie built up between you guys.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So how did you guys determine, okay, we're going to start a group of music and as a collective, we'll just come together and do this as brothers, basically?
Yeah.
Me and you got different origin stories. I'll get
Yeah, definitely. So it started with me and my boy Johnny Cruz, aka Don Francisco. If you're watching. And so like we were always like making music. We both played guitar. That's how we became friends, like in high school.
Okay.
And then so we just started rapping. Like I had moved back from New York. I lived out in upstate New York for a year. We came back and we were just jamming. So like we played guitar. We had a few people that we like were singers, and we would just play acoustic riffs. And then so like he was really good at beatboxing. Both me and him would beatbox. And then I mean I was rapping all the time. He would just freestyle. I kind of like got him into really like to pursue rapping. Okay. And then the origin story behind the name Crossjoint came because his name's Johnny Cruz. My name's John Caldwell. And so me and him were like, oh, he wanted to start the group. He's the one who named it. He was like, oh, I thought about Crossjoint because it takes 2 J's to roll a cross joint, and if you flip our initials, it's CJ. And I was like, that's some bullshit. I was like, why'd you hallmark this? I was like, it was a tag, but we never have really ever used that until now. But that's how it came to be. And so, I mean, he was super busy. Like, you know, he went to VCU and all that stuff. He's like a guitar teacher, like classically trained and stuff like that. So he's really good, like in the music mind. He's incredible.
Don Francisco, baby.
Yeah. And so for me is when I started like taking him like I'm gonna recruit, because what he wanted from day one was to be a collective. He wanted to be a lifestyle and just all these words and
all these words.
Yeah. And so I was just like, so it's just like very open. It's just like if you want to be this shit, you can. Like it's promoting, because I just want to see people I know make shit. And so like music. So that's when we started hanging out. And I noticed he's a music nerd, dude. He's so knowledgeable and he knows like so much. And I was like, damn. I was just like, I started showing him verses, and then I told him about it. And at first he wasn't really.
All right, so basically, John and Johnny already had this whole idea of like Crossjoint as like a brand and everything. Like they already had the idea. They just hadn't started like pushing it yet. So like I'm from the area and all that. I moved to South Carolina the summer before my senior year. And like I had like a lot of shit just in my life going on, and for some reason like I was just like, I'm gonna start writing this down like as raps. And I never really like showed anybody or like, you know, rapped for anybody or anything. And so I moved back here after a few years in Carolina, met John, and he was actually rapping at an open mic, and I was like, yo, that shit was crazy. I could never do that. Like, just off the top too. Like, he was freestyling. So I was like, that's crazy. Like, props. I couldn't do that. And so we just started talking about music and everything. And he told me about Crossjoint, you know, where it was, what the point of it, you know, the aim of it. And I think, like, we just started talking about it. I didn't tell him I rapped yet. Because, I mean, it didn't matter because they just wanted it to be a brand, like a lifestyle brand or whatever. Right. And so I finally was like, yo, I actually have, like, verses from, like, the past 5 years.
He did get stocked up.
So I was just, like, reading them off. And he was like, so you're in the group.
The portfolio.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah, and then just actually that was around the same time Cody.
Yeah. So that was another thing. Chody to one god. Cody, he was Chody to one god. He's also comedic relief. Dude. He's one of the funniest persons I know.
Okay.
He's so funny.
High screeches.
Okay.
Yeah, but like so after because we started hanging out. And like so when I first moved back from upstate, Johnny was taking me to like the music scene. It was like hardcore, deathcore, beat down. They're all in bands and stuff like that. So he started taking me around. That's when I met Cody. And so we would hang out a bunch. And that's when like one of the biggest things we always used to do is just put on a beat, freestyle. It didn't matter. We were just having fun. We were just freestyle. And then Cody just was a monster. I mean, nothing's more ignorant than when he's off of everything he does and then he's freestyling. It's the funniest. They're all hidden gems that are not captured, and they're masterpieces that are gone into the ether.
Dude,
but
he can
it's
freestyle
so funny.
for like 10 minutes straight.
And he does. He hogs the mic. He won't give it
If you put
up.
on a beat, you're not spitting anything. It's just
when it's
him.
his time, it's his beat.
He eats the
But it's
whole
like,
beat.
Nobody's like mad at it because you're just like,
Because he's killing it. And so around that time, after I told him about it, and he was like, he was also in hardcore bands, and he was like, he's been in that scene forever. So he was a vocalist, so stuff like that. He's currently a vocalist too in a band called Chains of Torment.
Chain of Torment.
Like so he's doing that.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, actual chains. But so he like
microphones.
yeah.
Just
So
yellow chains.
you know, I told him about it. I was like, dude, you want to be a part of this? I told Cody the same thing, and that's how it happened. And for real, like that's when we became brothers, and we just started going with this shit.
Okay.
And that's the origin of Crossjoint. It was us three. Johnny from the sidelines, he was our manager essentially. That didn't get paid, and it was just us three, just doing us. And then that's when the origin stories of Kevin Key.
I don't need that.
After we all moved into the same house.
Yeah, we're all living together.
Okay.
So, I was trying to get into bands and stuff, as you heard before. They didn't hear this, Jim, but my dad about the music. So,
The rugby incident.
yeah, the rugby incident, and I met Johnny playing rugby. He went to Denby. I went to Woodside.
Okay.
And we're both young. We're the youngest in our group,
Yeah.
and usually any friend group that we're in, I'm only 21. He's 19.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I went to Woodside. They didn't have a rugby team at the time. Went over to Denby, met him. He fucking looked weird, and I was like,
Definitely looked good.
I was like, yeah, I fuck with your Slipknot shirt or whatever that happened, and we started hanging out. I was to start a band. I've always been more into the hardcore scene and stuff like that.
Okay.
Everything growing up in Virginia Beach, my dad introduced me to punk and hardcore and everything like that from a very young age. And my mom was more on the hip hop side, Biggie, Missy Elliott, Timberlake, anything. Honestly, Timberlake and Missy Elliott was my whole childhood.
Okay.
So homegrown. So then when I met him, I was like, hey, I know you play bass. Let's get something going. Started that up. I met Chody DeWan at a show we were playing outside because this little heathen was bumming cigarettes outside.
As you do at a show.
Outside the
As
venue.
typical. And I actually I had met Chody prior to this playing Magic the Gathering at a comic book shop.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So we've all intertwined
Yeah.
before that, and then Cody introduced me to everybody, and they were living in the house at the time. I didn't even think about rapping. I always freestyled with everybody. It was always cool, but I was in a full-time touring band.
Okay.
That was my job.
Right. So
And
it was hard to find time between both.
it was hard to like have the want to record rap. You know what I mean? Because like I was so focused on the business aspect of my band. He left because he moved, and he was 16 at the time, so he
still,
didn't have a
yeah.
license or anything. He just
Damn.
like was away, and we put Cody on bass. So I was touring the country with the Crossjoint member, so I was always around Crossjoint. Things happened with that. They started another band. I moved back from Colorado, and we just linked up. I started doing my own stuff. I put out a tape without anyone knowing. Like, I didn't tell anyone. I didn't do it. I was just like, hey, I'm just going to record something. And
this man just sent me a Facebook message with a mixtape. I was like, when did this happen? 3 days.
Like, I recorded my first tape in like 4 hours.
Oh shit!
And some of it was freestyle. Some of it, it was just out of nowhere. I was just like, all my friends doing it, but I'm not trying to ride my friends' coattails. I want to do it by myself.
Okay.
And I just did it with our friend Mikey, who used to be in Trash Clique, but he's moving on to things.
Neo Visions.
Check him out.
He's a super weird dude, but super
Eccentric
creative.
is a good word. in my
Eccentric
But the
is
most
best
creative.
word.
He'll tell you he's not creative, but he's creative.
He's a musical genius.
He really is a savant, if you will.
Okay.
He is all over the place, extremely all over the place. But he moved back from Matthews, like deep Gloucester.
Oh shit!
And yeah, dude, where
like an hour and a half away from here.
his white ass belongs.
Oh my god!
But he's way back there. He came back. I was going to his house when we moved to Hampton with his girl, and now, fast forward, we have Crossjoint, we have Trash Clique, we have the whole collective, and currently, everybody except for Rheese lives in the same house. But
He did. He moved to Richmond.
Moved to Richmond. Yeah.
I live in his old room.
Yeah, Johnny moved into his room.
So this is bond now.
Yeah, so we are that close and we have that bond because we actually go through everyday like bills and cleaning up houses and dishes. We have like the actual family household.
Okay.
Aspect, dude. We went
Shout out Mama Ray.
Shout out Mama Ray.
Supplying everything to be
Shout
done.
out Lawn Gang.
His
My
girlfriend buys
okay.
mad groceries.
Okay.
Shout out. Shout out.
Mad
Who's the chef?
Chris.
Couple people.
Definitely our boy Chris, yo.
But between Chris and you, for the group, definitely you. You are the
Yeah,
chef of everybody.
yeah.
You're always, when you worked at Tucanos, yo, I got some stuff from Tucanos. You know,
Yeah, I plead the fifth on that. I never did nothing from nowhere. No job ever. I'm a good citizen,
He's a good noodle.
Samaritan,
Oh my god.
and the like.
All right, man. So you guys have been doing music for how long as a collective?
Seriously, like it's like 2.5 years.
Okay.
Crossjoint. Yeah, we released our first tape in December of 2016.
Okay.
And I guess Trash Clique's been doing it seriously since, I'd say, like a year after that.
Mm-hmm.
So a year and a half.
Okay.
But I've been taking music seriously since I was like 15. I left.
Yeah.
I graduated when I was 16, and I instantly hit the road.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
playing guitar like since I was around that same age, like 16.
Okay.
So music's always been a part of my life.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's just, I think it's all of us because
Yeah,
Johnny,
I was
Johnny
about,
plays guitar
I was like
and bass.
15 or 16 when we started the band.
Okay, so you all kind of started around the same points in your lives. Obviously, you guys reached that point at different times because y'all are, age difference, but around the same point in your lives, you kind of gravitate towards the music. So, and doing music together, one, what type of growth have you guys seen, and two, how do you guys see yourself? Like, do you guys see yourselves as a collective, or do you guys still want some type of individuality about yourselves, where you want people to know, I'm an individual, this is me as an individual, I don't want to be overarched by the group per se, but I still want to be part of the group and still have my own thing on the side as well?
Like
It's a loaded
for
question.
me, it's a lot, but like, and I know every one of us probably has a different thing, but like for me, my primary goal and thing I want to do with music is just make music. I enjoy making and listening to the music I make. So for me, I just want to. That's it. I just want to make music and listen to music, and I'm glad I have people I consider like brothers making the music with me, and so each one of us boosted. Like, I could not have done this if I didn't have them. I wouldn't have been as focused. I wouldn't have had the drive. They could tell you, man, they force me to do shit. Because they see it in me, and I'm just chilling, and I don't feel like, I either don't feel like
And
doing it.
like before we said, we still waiting on verses from you.
Exactly.
Get the fuck up and make some music.
Exactly. That's what they had to. That's what they had to do. And
Good
like
dominoes
I'm
took
the
over our life.
I'm the one who mixes, masters, records all of our music.
Oh, that's a tough job, man.
Yeah, it is. Like, and I'm sure you've been learning with the levels and just dealing with audio in general. And
Definitely, man.
And to be honest, that's my favorite part about music. Is like when I make it, or I'll make a song for them, or record their stuff, and I'll do a quick mix. I'll go to bed. I'll wake up the next morning, listen to that song, and it just hits me. I forgot how it went, and then it just, like, I don't know. It's a treat.
Would you say it's therapeutic?
It definitely is. Like, Absolutely. That's the favorite time in my life. It's just when I'm in my room alone, dark, beat on, and just writing or mixing, listening to music. Like it like the world melts away. Nothing matters because I'm just listening, and like that's the thing. And for me, I released my first solo mixtape at the beginning of the year, and I always just felt like it was a part of the same thing, like Crossjoint. I always wanted, like a team effort. It was like, if I'm eating, all my boys are eating.
Right.
Like I am really more about like it being, a collective, less about individuality. But I know that there's like importance to defining yourself.
Absolutely.
So that you have a separate thing.
Right, because you still want to be your own person and still bring your own twang, if you will, to the group. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You want to have your own spin on the group, because every group has that specific individual that brings something. Whether it's in a band where you have your guitarist, you have your drummer, you have your vocalist, you have all these working cogs in the machine. You know what I'm saying? You have to have those cogs. So it's definitely important to individualize yourself.
Yeah, and
but definitely think of the hierarchy at the same time.
Yeah, that adds to the listenability too, because then people are like, oh, I prefer. They might not like someone else, but they prefer someone else, and I'll make them listen, and it just brings everybody up because they have a favorite of the group.
Right. Actually, it's like Suicide Boys. Like I don't know if y'all fuck with them, but like out of the two, some like some prefer one over the other. You know.
Exactly.
So
yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like we all have our individuality in the whole collective, but it's never forced.
Right.
Like as you could
Yeah, talking as hard.
You say, yeah, it is.
Words
There's no beat on.
Hard.
Words are tough.
There's no beat.
Words are definitely tough.
But
facts.
As you said earlier, like you could tell like how close we are, and it kind of translates into the music. Like we all have our different styles and energy, but at the same time, when one of us is like, "Hey, I got this song. You want to be on it?" It's just instantly, yeah, we write what we write, and it flows. But like if someone that's not in the group, like we could really like them as a person, and we could really like their music too. It's a little bit more difficult to write to what they're doing,
right?
Because it's like we can tell, like part of the fun of like hip hop to me is trying to figure out what certain things mean when somebody's saying it, and it's like we already know what the other one is saying. Like we know what that means, and we can play off that.
But we don't have to go to a rap genius to understand what each other means. We just be like, yo, what did you just say? That happens sometimes where people we're like, hey, what did you just say in that verse? Like, what are those words? Like, I thought he was saying orange. I don't even know what you said. He was like orange cream coated seats in the whip, and I was like, what's codices? I did not know he was saying, and I recorded it.
Orange cream coated seats.
And I was like, what's orange codices? And I was just like, I didn't know like what he meant.
Orange cream, is that like a matte light orange?
Like, it's just like creamsicle. So matte that glare on orange. You. So having like seats that are leather, the sun hitting.
Okay, I got you.
So
I'm more of a burnt orange kind of guy.
Yo, that was just a filler line. Fuck you. It was a filler. I didn't think I had to like. I was like, yo, what color was I talking about? But anyway, nah. So like,
as you were.
For me, it's everything's family related. My family taught me at a young age that it ain't about, I don't care if you related or not. It's more about who you have close to you. And even for like solo stuff or collective stuff, I don't have to be scared to what it's going to sound like, because you can get a verse from someone that you really admire, but if it gets put on next to your voice, you don't know how it's going to turn out. You don't know if it's going to fit or flow right. And I know that if I have any of them on the track with me, it's going to flow correctly. Everything's going to be good just because I'm so used to it. And we know how to go off each other. It's real smooth. It's organic.
And speaking of, you got something that you're working on with Full Metal, correct?
Absolutely. I was just about to talk about that. So, as much as I love Full Metal, I love the music I've following since he came out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how my voice was going to sound next to that because I know how his voice sounds, and
I'm
I enjoy
mixing it right now, and I'm like, we just got the open back, and hearing his quality, I'm like, I got a lot to do to his mix. To get
Boris,
up for it to
Boris is crazy with the mix and mastering.
Crazy, dude.
Genius.
Yeah. Shout out the first tape that he has deleted off everything. Revolucid.
Speaking of deleted stuff, that one song Full Metal did was like one of the first music videos. He was like out in front of the comic book shop. He was in like City Center.
Oh, that was
Which one was that?
I forgot what it was.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was on the top of my head. It wasn't the Sailor Moon one, was it?
I don't think so.
It wasn't Shiny Lapras.
I can just look it up.
You could just look it up. We do have Google on YouTube and things like that.
No, it's not on YouTube no more. I couldn't find it.
It's not?
Nah, it's deleted. That's why I was saying shout out to deleted stuff. I love that song, Full Metal.
No, it was the first tape that Boris did when he put out his name and everything. Revolution was the first thing he put out in high school.
Oh,
and
wow.
he instantly got rid of it. As soon as he like figured out what to do, he's like, nah. And just got rid of it. I was like, bro, what?
He's very peculiar about everything. I mean,
so especially like John can relate because he's recording his own stuff. So he was supposed to release his solo tape in like October.
First, I was supposed to release it on Thanksgiving, and then I was gonna release it New Year's, and so I released it at the end of January.
Oh wow!
He 21 Savage like forgot to post my album, but like multiple times.
I was like, damn, I'm the only one who's not even working on the solo tape.
But straight away over the tropic, I just like having everybody on my team, and I'm excited for the album to come out. I'm excited for Full Metal's verse for everybody to hear it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely, man. And then.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. What?
What was the question?
No, it's basically the same thing everyone else said. It's a whole family mentality. We all work very well together. We all have our own individuality as well. And one thing I learned is not only knowing them, but working with them for so long is that it's very clear that blood isn't always thicker.
Right.
That sometimes people you don't even have any close relation to can be the closest and the most family to you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's one thing I've learned in my 24 years of life is, obviously family is not defined by blood. I mean, it is literally, but, obviously you can form stronger bonds with people that you've never, met before. You just meet somebody and then, y'all just like click, you know what I'm saying? And then y'all just kind of go from there,
He hated me when he first met me. He didn't know who I was.
It'd be like that sometimes, though. Honestly.
He saw me on
Do we tell
Facebook.
that story?
He saw me on Facebook. Yeah, he saw me on Facebook, and I used to like just talk a lot of shit. I don't know why. It just appeared in my life. I think I was like 18, so I was just talking shit, and I felt on top of the world. I was touring full time. I was like, fuck everybody else. Like I'm killing it. And he was like, dude, I really hate this dude. Like this dude fucking sucks.
It wasn't like off the bat. It wasn't off the bat. Like
Oh, so this was hate over time?
It's better for the story. Yeah, he said, "Fuck him, bro." It's better for the story. He said,
"I've told this story
bro.
so many times."
So there's this cookout during this hurricane.
Oh my!
Yeah, there was a cookout during a hurricane.
It was a shit show, but a good shit show. Like,
okay. This dude has some crazy. Yeah, the dude sucks, but like shout out his guac making skills. Yeah. The guac was crazy.
It brought us together.
So we're eating
not
this
about guac.
We're having good conversations. Everything we're eating this guac that's like super cool. And he walks away from the conversation, opens his phone, and sees me post something. And he's like, "Dude, I fucking hate this Kevin kid." And someone was like,
"No, it was Daniel." Daniel was like, "You mean the one you've been talking to for the past 2 hours in the rain?" And I was like, "Oh no, it can't be him. He's so cool." Why you gotta be him?
That's just
and then I came over to the house. He didn't like me for another reason because I didn't greet him.
No, I was drunk both times. There was a dark time in my life.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be
no
drunk.
excuses. He was like, "Yo, fuck you."
That is the case. That did happen. But to be fair, you got to be drunk to eat guacamole for 2 hours in the rain.
Yeah, no,
I mean, facts.
absolutely. I don't eat guacamole in the rain by choice, so sober at least.
I'm gonna say false. I was dumb sober. I was just like, I'm gonna chill and eat this guac. But I go into the house and they're having a little kickback and everything. And I was hanging out with Chody, since he was a bass player in my band. Walk in and I greeted everyone. But in our house, we got a good amount of people in our house. We like cheap living, but we like our friends. We all want to be in one spot.
Right.
And when there's so many people living in a house,
You
don't know who lives in the house and who's just there.
What?
Okay, look.
No, because
so
there's so many people that lived in the house at the time, and then there were more people over.
We
for
had
a
the
party.
most people we had living at that house was 9 people.
How many bedrooms is it?
It's
Not enough.
4 bedrooms upstairs, and then there's a big old indoor sunroom. That's a room. And then, how you would have a dining room and a living room and a den. Those are rooms now.
Because we all just like hanging out and we don't want to go anywhere.
It saves money.
But imagine all those people with their friends over. And all of our friends were friends of everyone. So it was 14 people. For one summer, it was every day we would have at least 10 people in the house at all times.
Oh, damn.
Without, that's excluding household members.
Yeah.
So we would have people in the house, and I'm walking around saying what's up to whoever I remembered live at the house, and I just blast past him. I was like, "Get by!" And he was just like, "That motherfucker ain't say hi to me in my own house," and he was like, "I don't fuck with him again."
Yeah, I know he was cool before, but I don't fuck with you no more.
He was like,
man.
"Bro, I didn't like him, and then I liked him, and now I don't like him again." And then look at you. Like clockwork, you fuck with me again.
Oh my God. So
I mean,
what do you predict the next time is gonna be that he doesn't fuck with you?
Dude, I'm just gonna if he asks for a verse, I'm just never gonna send it. I'm gonna say I recorded it, and I'm gonna blame it on John, and then it's gonna start an internal thing.
Oh my God.
And he's gonna be like, I don't even got the verse, and then I'm gonna be like, dude, I swear I recorded the verse.
He about to start a coup.
And he's gonna be
he's gonna come to my house to tell me this.
I'm gonna drive to Richmond
all the way to Richmond,
just so that I could be like,
just to do
dude,
that.
I didn't do the verse.
I leave.
Just wanted to let you know.
I don't got it later.
Or I'll just tell John, and he'll be like, yeah, dude, I got it, but we're just not gonna send it to you. We're gonna hold it for ransom.
Oh my God. All right, man.
Tape unfinished.
So let's talk about some of y'all's musical influence. Well, how long do y'all want this to run? I know y'all got a concert to go to.
Dude, we good for right now.
We're chilling.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So let's talk about some of y'all's musical influences. What kind of defined you guys growing up as far as music is concerned? Obviously, backgrounds are sonically different a little bit. You came from a hardcore background. Majority of you guys came from a hip hop / you were rock as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that dynamic come together as far as combining genres? I know you guys have to combine elements from each type of genre and kind of form a alternative hip hop essentially. So how does that work, and who were some of y'all's influences?
Yeah, growing up, because I was guitar, I played guitar a lot, so my dad got me into all the 80s hair metal, all of just classic rock and stuff like that. So I played guitar, and then shortly after that, my brother gave me a Metal for the Masses CD. I don't know if you remember those Metal for the Masses CDs, and I just went through there, and one of my favorite bands is Him.
Okay.
And so that's a big influence. So that and then a lot of darker goth, metal and rock at first. And then I just started discovering black metal, deathcore, death metal, melodic death metal. And just a lot of metal. So growing up, I was a metalhead. I was playing guitar helped me to explore that metal. And even then when I was a kid, my older brother showed me Tech 9. And then so that was holy crap, it was just an appalling rapper at the time,
right?
And so that got me interested in the underground, and that's when I just started diving into the underground, underground. So growing up, it was metal. I listened to a lot of R&B too. R&B, smooth jazz just connects to my soul, as it does with pretty much most people.
So you have a wide musical palette.
Yeah, everything. I'll listen.
Everybody
to
in this group has a wide music palette.
Definitely.
That's dope, man. That's super dope. I'll definitely fuck with that, because so what's some of y'all's favorite metal bands?
This is for me.
My God.
Okay, so
just real quick, mine is super. I'll just say, Children of Bodom was one of my biggest influences.
Okay.
And that's really it.
CKY. him.
Yeah.
That was quick.
For me, it was just different phases of my life. So, like, I was born in '97, so new metal was just right around the corner for that, and that's when bands like Limp Bizkit, bands like Slipknot, bands like Mudvayne and stuff like that came out. So I was really into like the heavier stuff, and then I dug deeper because my dad took me like punk shows and stuff. So Social Distortion and Black Flag and stuff like that. But then it got even deeper when I started playing shows, and I grabbed influence from local bands that were everywhere else. So when I was on tour, local bands opened up for us, and I would hear incredible bands that no one has the chance to hear if you don't live in that area.
Right.
And we struck influence from there. So with that being said, Promise Breaker, that's a local band from Philly.
Okay.
Or that area. Boundaries from Connecticut. I just was at a show with them, 2 days ago?
Yeah, dude.
I was hanging out with them. And for my band, like, I don't know, dude, so many bands. I'm still thinking. Y'all can go on.
I know, like what he said, I went through a lot of different like phases of music growing up to like kind of contribute to what I listen to now.
Right.
Like when I was a lot younger, like just from listening to what my dad would listen to in the car, it was a lot of dad rock and new metal. So like a lot of
people don't know what dad rock means. You need to explain what that means.
Like Metallica and like old,
so like
old,
80s,
like old thrash and like just
if
heavy
you can
metal.
hold a $16 beer at the amphitheater and just be like, hell yeah, brother, it's dad rock.
That's dad rock. That's dad rock. So
hell yeah, brother.
Bands like Tool, bands like Tool and Deftones and Metallica and Slayer and stuff. Creed.
Does AC/DC count? I mean, they're not really
absolutely
metal.
Yeah, 110%. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was a lot of that, and a good amount of new metal, just a lot of Corn.
I used to love.
Talking about food.
I used to love Corn, bro. I used to love them, bro.
Dude,
it's metal beatboxing.
Yeah, dude, a lot of it.
Yeah, sure. No, that's facts. That's facts. Let's talk about that, man.
I started discovering more punk stuff as I got older, like Rancid, Misfits, stuff along that genre, and then I went through the very shitty metalcore phase in middle school, as a lot of people do. Just bad. Stop talking about it usually.
Okay.
And then once I started playing music with Kevin over there is when I really like branched down to like the heavier stuff. That's when I started listening to more down tempo, more like good traditional metalcore, occasional little bit of deathcore, just a lot of the heavier stuff. But as far as rap goes, as growing up, I wasn't the biggest fan of it.
Okay.
But I did like a few things from my dad.
Vulture.
I was about to say, don't admit that.
You mean you're in a rap group and you don't like rap?
Yeah. I was uneducated, I would say. But no, I definitely did like Clips and Pusha T. My dad like Pusha T from Clips and all that. My dad did that. Played them a lot. Biggie. I've always been a fan of Eminem. I saw 8 Mile when I was younger. Thought it was one of the coolest things ever. You know, typical
Yeah, the
thing.
movie's good. The movie's. I'm not gonna.
Good,
I ain't going. Okay.
But, yeah, no, I've always I like Eminem. It's always been one of those. A lot of pop punk.
So let me ask y'all this: who won between Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly?
Who cares?
I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I don't care. It's not 2000. It's after 2004.
One, I don't want to answer that because I'm white, so I'm not picking any other white.
What's your answer?
First off, what's
I
your
think
answer?
Eminem killed him, bro.
Cool.
Honestly.
Cool. I'm not answering that. That makes me look bad. I don't even like Eminem like that.
White on white crime.
Oh my god.
Fuck. I lost it either way.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
Oh my god.
Dude, it's like when me and Johnny argue. It's just real ugly and subtle at the same time.
Oh my god.
Because we're not going to blow anything out of proportion. But no, your musical influences, now that we've jumped off this.
So, he can't even get it out. He's like, oh shit.
All right, so I as a kid, I wasn't allowed to listen to anything mainstream or anything. My parents were like super heavy into like church. Like we were at church like 3 times a week.
Okay.
Like I wasn't allowed to listen to anything except jazz on the radio. I mean, yeah, I appreciate it now, but like as a kid, that
Shout out
shit
88.1.
sucked. But like, Yeah, I mean, like, it was just, like, a bunch of jazz and gospel music. And, like, I played piano and drums, so, like, they had me in the music, too.
Okay, I got you.
So, we went from, like, that, and then, like, I remember one day... Oh, my God, this goes back to Eminem. So
everything comes full swing.
So one day I was like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna go listen to what I want to on the radio, and they were like, okay. So I went to.
All it took was you asking.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
or
whatever.
just telling, I guess. You could have done this years ago.
Yeah, probably. But like, I mean, now I'm kind of thankful for it.
So you were a true rebel.
Yeah,
I turned the radio station off.
yeah. I pressed that button and never went
Maximum
back.
overdrive.
No gospel in the car,
But
Mom.
you go rap, you don't go back.
So like, I turned
My
on
bad.
Z104. Like that was the first time. Like I'll never forget the day. And like, Forgot About Dre was the first song that came on, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, I've been missing out. So like every day, like I stopped watching TV. I would come home from school and just listen to the radio until it was time for me to go to sleep.
Dude, it's like when you nut for
wow.
the first time.
I guess
That's how you discover your palette for music. You're
So
like,
like,
oh,
What is the
this,
sensation?
this shit, this shit's crazy.
This shit's
No,
sick.
but for me, it was just, I'm an encyclopedia of music. I could
100.
all over the place. And with my dad taking me to hardcore shows and stuff like that, punk and everything, my mom was listening to Timberland, Missy Elliott, and Clips and stuff like that, and she was like, "Yeah, you should be fucking with this."
Okay.
And my dad was like, "Nah, you should be fucking with this." And then it just brought me all over the place, and I found everything in between. So
Nice.
that's where more of the wanting to sing and stuff like that comes in. Is I love R&B.
Okay.
I actually get a
love-
lot of my influences now from them.
Okay.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
John's my favorite rapper, hands down. I don't care.
Honestly,
that's just
yeah.
how it is.
I'm my favorite rapper.
No, talk your shit, man.
Like,
I like confidence.
after the rap shit, I was like, there's got to be something else. Like, I know not everybody listens to Z104
Right.
because that's not how radio stations work.
Right.
So like, I would just go on YouTube as a kid and search like, you know how like when you can't remember the name of a song, so you
So you
like try
type
to
the
find-
lyrics.
Yeah, I was just like,
I do this
I don't know,
all
like
the
I
time.
do that
you know,
now.
like
Yeah,
when you
still
look
to
up
this
like
day.
type beats, I'd be like super aggressive rock music or some shit like that, and like it was weird. Like it's weird how I found music, but like my first band I liked was Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay. So you know what I love though with YouTube? I love when I type something in and it'll be like the most random shit and I find exactly what I'm looking for. That is the most satisfying
Good,
feeling in
yeah.
the world. Like so there's a song that Kendrick Lamar did. It was Hood Politics. And that opening part of the song, I was like, I want to find the opening part of this song, but like extended. And they had like I typed it in, it was literally
Where the
like
sample
first
was
thing
from?
up. Yeah, not even a sample, just they had it like looped and it was just like going and going. I was like, yo, if this was a song, this shit would be crazy. Like just
And you found your song.
I did. I did.
Your FBI agent was looking out.
Yeah, definitely. So me personally, I mean, as far as like bands and rock and stuff like that goes, I don't know if you guys would consider like Bullet for My Valentine like a different type of like what type of metal, but I really like Bullet for My
Dog.
Valentine.
Hand of Blood was like the first song I learned on guitar, like solo and all.
Oh, wow.
Well, not the first song I learned on guitar, but it was the first like full song I learned both guitar parts and the solo. To
Okay.
Hand of Blood from Bullet for My Valentine. I discovered them early too.
Nice, yeah. So Bullet for My Valentine, I like Oceano, they're dope.
Dude,
District of
the
Misery.
new
District of Misery is my shit, bro. That what
Dude,
was, is that a riff where it was like where it was just like they were like headbanging in the video and stuff, and it was like just
it's
them playing the instruments.
Well, that was just the drums. Like it was
crazy.
it's just
Yeah.
that's it.
It was insane, man. Like that just whole song, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy.
Great.
man.
His vocals are like the bottom of a Slurpee. Like so low, dude. It's sick. I fucking,
Oh God, yo, I've never heard that shit in my life.
it's accurate.
I
though.
have never heard that. That is awesome. I've never heard that shit by. That's hilarious. Oh my God. That's an accurate way to describe this.
That's what it sounds like. Go buy a Slurpee.
Like that.
Finish it. You got Oceano.
You want to know what hardcore metalcore sound like? Go to free Slurpee day, and you just you go to the
every-
bottom.
Everybody drinking this Slurpee.
Exactly.
But no, so
What other bands? So you said Bull from a Valentine, Oceano.
So Bull from a Valentine, Oceano. I like Linkin Park, more of an alternative, obviously not metal.
You said Korn.
Korn. I definitely was rock with Korn heavy. I like Atreyu.
Atreyu's so sick.
Oh my god, Right Side of the Bed. I love that song.
3 Days Grace. I like 3 Days Grace too. Mm-hmm. I Hate Everything About You was like probably my favorite song all time.
That's everybody's favorite song.
Yeah. And then Evanescence. I liked that group as well. With the female lead. Something different. But yeah, Wake Me Up Inside. That was my intro song for them. Who's another big one? There was like just some other like.
Shout out the Daredevil soundtrack.
Yeah, right.
Facts.
And it was like,
that's what had it.
I think like I like a little bit of My Chemical Romance.
MCR,
a little bit of who the fuck are the guys that do Chop Suey and
System of a Down.
System of a Down. Yeah, System of a Down. I couldn't remember the name for the life of me.
Aren't they getting back together?
No, they have like lawsuits on each other.
Oh shit. So it's beef.
Yeah, no, it's about a lot in metal industries is more for metal industries it's a lot more on image. Mm-hmm. And let's say like Corey Taylor is in Stone Sour and Slipknot, so he gets paid more because he's taking more time off to do everything.
Right.
Also, another member of Slipknot, Clown, does all the like videos and stuff. So you can only assume that the people that are doing the creative aspect of it are getting paid a little bit more, and some people don't like that they're getting paid less, and then it just creates
I got you
internal conflict, and that's what it was for System of a Down. Is what I've read. Don't quote me.
Oh, another one was Breaking Benjamin too.
Breaking Benjamin.
I love Breaking Benjamin. Like they're super dope, man.
Polyamorous was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, definitely. Mine was Diary of Jane. That was my
first Breaking Benjamin song I heard was "Blow Me Away" to a Naruto AMV.
Bro, I make AMVs, bro. I make AMVs to this day. Like I used to do it in middle school, and I loved it. My computer crashed. I just never got back to it.
It's eye candy.
What animes you using now,
bro? I'm so glad we brought this up because I heard from some of all y'all. So animes I'm rocking with heavy right now. So my favorite all time anime of all time is definitely Naruto. Like because I grew up with Naruto. Like I literally grew up watching that show.
You got hand signs down?
Oh yeah, of course. You know I got the shit. I got you. I got you with the hand signs.
You do not.
Right. The mics over shit. But definitely Naruto all time. Right now, I'm rocking heavy with Rising of Shield Hero.
I just started that. I'm on the 5th episode right now. Don't spoil nothing.
I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to love it.
It's so good. I'm already hooked.
It's what Sword Art Online should have been. Definitely. So it's
big facts.
I need to watch that.
So the Rising of Shield Hero is dope. I've been watching Made in the Abyss. I finished that because they only have like one season now. That's super dope. Promised Neverland, super dope. Definitely gonna be top 10 in my opinion. Once it's all said and done. Death Note, huge influence for me. I love Death Note. Wasn't a huge fan of Bleach. Y'all might disagree with me on this. I cannot stand One Piece and Hunter x Hunter. I can't stand it.
Oh, dude.
I'm sorry.
Okay, one of our friends is caught up on One Piece, has watched every single episode, and
it's just such a huge commitment, and like it just takes so long for me for it to get good.
I got you.
Like the first 100 episodes, but like it just got so boring to me. I was like, "Where is this going?" Bro?
He knows where the treasure is. Why don't you just write him to it?
Our friend
wasn't that the point?
Our friend told us that if we ever want to get caught up with One Piece, the last 8 episodes they just did, do the whole series.
It really does. It just catches up you on everything. To be honest,
so you can start.
I mean, yeah, you could. But
I'm not gonna watch it. I don't like it.
In my opinion, it should not take that long for an anime to tell a story.
It's like 8 years, right?
He would agree.
Yeah, they're like 1,000-some episodes. Like it's crazy.
One Piece is like Japan's Simpsons, which is why it's so long.
Right, true.
Like it's on their everything,
and that's why it's so popular, in my opinion. Because like once you start something, you want to see it all the way through. In my opinion, at least, like that's how it was with Naruto. And it's not that Naruto was bad. It was just like people say, "Oh, there's a lot of fillers," but the fillers are actually pretty good.
It's so good.
I'd say it's like the new Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I can
What's
see
your favorite filler? Because mine is the the crystal style user. It's like a Kekkei Genkai user with the crystal. She is my favorite Naruto character.
My favorite, I would say my favorite filler was either the Chunin exam catch-up where they had Rock Lee fight Shinru or whatever, the other Taijutsu only user.
Oh yeah,
and he had his own variant at the 8 gates.
Yeah,
and then I also like the power arc for the fillers where it was like Naruto. And he got like the Nine Tails like extracted from him kind of, and he had to fight against himself. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw that one, but the animation was super dope. Yeah, so that was probably my favorite one.
Those are good ones.
Yeah. Those like, but Naruto was like definitely my top. Favorite anime.
What got me into anime was, as cliche as it is, I grew up at Cartoon Network, and Nick kid. So when I saw Avatar: Last Airbender, I was like, yo, I need to deep dive into this. And my father, or my stepdad, he went to Korea where he met my mom. They were both in the military.
Okay.
And he got a bunch of anime and stuff from there. Also, when he
Nice.
lived in Japan. So when he was like, you like this? And he just threw a whole bunch of like foreign animes at me. And I had to go into the PS2 and change the code to be able to watch it. And you can only have a few switches before it cut off. Like, before you can never do it again. So if you're stuck in
Good old days.
like Japanese PS2, you just have Japanese PS2. So I changed the code and he would change it for me, and I only had 3 switches, so I had to watch for a whole year just Japanese and Korean anime that I don't even remember anymore because it was so much in one time before I switched back to my American PS2 and could play like Tony Hawk on and stuff. I couldn't do any of that because I had the American versions. So it was a whole process.
Oh, jeez.
Yu Yu Hakusho is the best anime ever made.
False.
Yeah, no, Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, I would say
False.
And again, when you're talking about like anime, obviously it's all
up there.
subjective. It's all based on opinion and what you like. But Yu Yu
Except for
Hakusho is
Yu Yu
definitely
Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho is in my top 10. So you know, I can definitely see that. You know,
Except for you.
it's influenced a lot of animes
really
too. You know, Cowboy Bebop's another good one. I wouldn't say, in my opinion, it's not my top 10, but it's definitely a great anime, good start anime. Full Metal Alchemist.
That's
Definitely my
my
top
favorite
10.
one.
That's a good
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal
my
Alchemist is
favorite
crazy.
anime,
Number
hands
2.
down.
Because Full Metal Alchemist is what
It's my number
a
3.
well-rounded. It has all the good aspects of an anime. It has a great character development, great storyline. It's not long and it's straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? Like you get everything that you need from it. You get to feel the emotion of the characters. You get to see the relationship that the brothers have, and the feeling of loss is something that we've all felt.
Oh my god.
So it just capitalizes on that and just makes it an anime that anybody can relate to. So I that's like one of the main animes I recommend for anybody that wants to get into anime is definitely watch Full Metal Alchemist.
It was the perfect one to do like the different storylines too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, that's dope. I definitely fuck with that, man, because y'all rock with anime too. That's like that's like one of my
We're
favorite
all over
things,
the place, dude. Like I said, especially since there's 4 of us, we all grab influence from each other. So like,
right.
So we put each other on.
I
ask each
introduced
other which
him.
animes, like,
I introduced him to a lot of the music that I was into, or that I was like touring and seeing, because I said seeing bands no one's ever going to be able to see, and they break up in 3 weeks because they were just a local band.
Right.
But having that catalog and me being able to search it, still being on Bandcamp and SoundCloud and stuff like that, is crazy. And then I see bigger bands rip stuff from smaller bands, and I'm like, I remember that part.
They do that all the time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Hip hop community too. You know, they'll find like SoundCloud rappers and they'll like bite some of their lyrics, or they'll bite some of their samples.
Industry.
Yeah, I mean that's just the name of the game. You gotta protect your stuff, man.
Did
You
someone
know?
say Drake?
Drake. Yo, side note, back to the anime real quick. Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma is my favorite anime.
For real?
Yeah, favorite anime. Like, I mean,
See, I have it in my watch list. I just haven't started it yet.
I love
I've been hearing
food.
good things about it.
I love food.
Does it really teach you like
Rocket power.
It's accurate. All
Okay.
of the
Home
culinary devices, all of the everything is accurate, and they actually have like high level like gastronomy, or however you pronounce that word, and like stuff like that. It's accurate. Like none of it's like, I mean, it's a lot of it's like, you know, the reactions. It's very ichi and it's very like drawn out. It's like, you know, blown up.
Right.
And
like all
characteristic.
anime is,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like you're cracking
over
an
the
egg,
top.
and then
It's
the,
a
and the process of
shonen.
cracking an egg is like 5 minutes of him just like reflecting in his mind how he's gonna crack this egg and what's gonna happen when he cracks.
And it's like their
it.
food,
Yeah.
like the main thing, the Shokugeki is like a food battle. It's like between 2 people, and they battle with food. So there's still anime fights in this
Between-
anime about food. So it's so good, dude.
So it's
my
like
favorite.
it's like Pokemon but with food.
Yeah, there's also a JoJo's reference.
For real? Oh, that's another one, yo.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure,
Like so many people be like, yo, that show's
Watch
gay. I'm
JoJo's.
like, bro, I don't care about none of that shit. That shit is funny. Bro.
That shit's so sick.
That show is hilarious, man.
Watch
Like,
JoJo's.
But
and it's actually good though. Like it's actually good.
There
I
you
tell
go,
people that.
Logan.
anime,
Watch
anime also
JoJo's.
got me
Shout out to
into like what I do in my spare time. So like playing Smash Bros. And
I love
playing-
Smash Bros too.
but,
Yeah.
Dude.
we can run it at any point in
Oh,
time.
let me
don't
know. I
care.
got it downstairs. So
I tournament play. So like,
oh, hey,
All of
yeah,
us have.
yeah. You know
Yeah.
what?
but that also brings to like, yeah,
play a little Tekken,
the
too.
first game that I was introduced to for fighting was Tekken Tag.
Tekken Tag is my favorite.
And
Tournament 2 specifically.
Yeah. With the bounds, all the mechanics from that shit.
Nah, dude, I love the Tekken Tag because there's no nameplates for anyone.
You
it's
have to
just
know
faces.
Right.
Yeah, so it just I had to learn who I had to learn at the time. I couldn't switch around because I'd forget everything. But Tekken, really big into Blaze Blue now.
All the anime air dashes.
Okay.
So like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, even like Dragon Ball Fighters.
Skullgirls.
Undernight In-Birth, Eunice is like my favorite one right now.
Skullgirls.
Skullgirls
is sick.
is so good.
Arcana Heart.
Yeah. Arcana Heart's like the OG.
But
I played Mortal Kombat.
Fuck Arcana Heart.
Mortal Kombat's dope too.
But Smash Bros. That's my.
I mean, those two, Smash and Mortal.
Like,
that was a big, it was a big part. Like in the beginning of making music, like I almost defined my life by making music and playing fighting games.
Okay.
Like all I cared about playing fighting games.
I'm going to Florida at the end of the month for
CEO.
Yeah, I'm going to CEO to play for Smash.
I was supposed to go, but it ended up falling through, unfortunately.
Because you ain't nice.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Because you ain't nice. It's because you.
Well, I wasn't going to play. I was just going just to experience. I've never been before, so I just wanted to see what it was like.
And then in August, I'll be going to CEO, or I'll go to CEO, and then Evo, and then I'm going to Smash Con in Chantilly, Virginia.
Sweet.
So I got majors coming up, and that's the.
I'm gonna have to get up with you on that because I'm trying to get involved.
Any point after the show today, I will come back to the crib. I got my controller in the car, always ready.
All right, well, cool, man. I think we have covered a lot, about who you guys are as a group, what defines you guys, what defines your group. Before we wrap up, do you guys have any projects that you guys are releasing as far as like a collective? I know you releasing your album.
Yeah, sometime in August. Haven't worked an official date yet because I'm just waiting for him. And
wait, when did you say you wanted to release it?
August.
Can't do it, bro.
So, 3 a.m. on Beachmont Drive. It's in the lyrics that I do, everything that we do, we all rep Beachmont until very end.
Newport News, we're really like about where we came from.
And
I came from Lee's Mill.
On top of that,
right down the street.
On top of that, we're gonna be doing a lot more shows, especially for me because I'm getting back into being in a band and stuff again. And plus, I'm trying to get as many shows as we can be on. Trying to catch up with more of the local area because I'm way too busy doing other stuff that I'm trying to catch up with people like 3 Days, Full Metal and stuff like that. But they have busy schedules and stuff.
Absolutely.
So,
as a collective, we haven't thought about, but now having this interview, like thinking about it, we should
have to do it.
We need
like all of us get Cody on it, and like so this might spawn a whole collective tape again because we haven't. The last one was with me and him, and it was just me and him.
We released the tape.
Okay.
So we need to do one with all of us.
Well, I'm glad I could be the catalyst possible.
The catalyst, yes.
We're gonna put a soundbite from this interview in it.
Nice.
Honestly,
we're just gonna put you laughing.
Yeah, but if you give us permission, will you get different?
Oh my god!
I don't need your permission. We're gonna put all your laughs, and we're gonna slow them down. We're gonna speed. It's gonna be a whole interlude.
Screw your voice.
Smoking Sherm, the interlude.
Oh my god! Hey, all I need is 10%, man. So
I got you.
Word. All right, man. Cool. So y'all got anything else that y'all want to add, man, before we wrap up?
Thank you for the taking your time.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate y'all, trusting my platform and wanting to come out and do the interview. It's definitely humbling every time somebody wants to come up for an interview. So
I was watching
appreciated.
I was watching it all the time. I was just like, I need this, and I shared it, and then we linked up.
No, definitely, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for reaching out.
This is definitely an achievement for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I'm glad it could be that for y'all, man. Definitely, like that really does mean a lot. So I do appreciate y'all for that, man. So, hey, if y'all got nothing else to add, man, definitely I appreciate y'all. Keep killing out there, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you too. And thanks to everyone who supports us.
Absolutely.
Just once again, Kevin Key,
Kaiju,
Poncho, Julius,
the Sandman.
All right, dope, and I'm Sherm. All right, man. Again, appreciate y'all, man. Keep killing it. Make sure y'all follow them on social media. Real quick, what's y'all social media handles?
Oh man,
yeah, take care of all of us.
Instagram, you can find me at tc.sandman.
Okay.
Oh yeah, my Instagram is at Diet Cigarette Supreme.
Okay. Is it really?
It really is. It really is. What is mine?
I think
Instagram.
It's like
Rich.
Rheese.
Yeah,
it's
Rich
like
_homie_Rheese. and then the both of the groups is Trash Clique Lifestyle, and Crossjoint VA. They're both one word.
Okay.
Trash Clique Lifestyle. You already said that, but nsn.knifemain. It's my gaming platform.
Okay, I got you. And I'm gonna have all your social media in the actual description of the video, so everybody will see it. That wants to.
That means a lot for us.
Definitely, absolutely, man. So yeah, make sure y'all follow them. Make sure y'all listen to their music. Make sure y'all rock with them. They're dope. They're doing that thing out here. I appreciate y'all once again, man.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Absolutely.
And
75
Sherm's not
Junction
good
now.
at Smash.
Oh yeah, we about to set this up.